What if the reason money stresses you out today was programmed into you when you were a kid? Think about it. Hearing we can't afford that. Watching layoffs on the news. Seeing your parents quietly stress over bills at the dinner table. Little by little, money stopped feeling like opportunity and started feeling like something to fear. So now you work hard, but investing feels dangerous. You save, yet checking your bank account still makes your stomach tighten. That's not weakness. It's a psychological pattern millions of people developed growing up during recessions. And here's the unsettling part. One belief about money still running your life today was planted years before you earned your first dollar. And once you recognize that belief, you'll finally see why so many people stay financially trapped. A lot of Gen Y grew up watching parents whisper about layoffs at the dinner table, bills stacked like a quiet storm in the corner. So somewhere along the way, money stopped feeling like opportunity and started feeling like danger. In financial psychology, that moment matters more than people think. When someone grows up around panic, personal finance turns into pure defense mode. It's kind of like in The Pursuit of Happiness, when Chris Gardner is constantly one step away from losing everything. Survival becomes the only goal. That's why many people today think safety means hoarding cash and never moving. But real financial education shows something different. True safety isn't hiding from money, it's learning how to manage it. One practical step is building a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. If monthly expenses are $3,000, that means aiming for $9,000 to $18,000. This single habit quietly changes someone's entire relationship with risk. Here's the twist most finance tips never mention: don't automate the emergency fund at first. Track it manually every single week. Write the numbers down, watch it grow, feel the progress. It sounds old school, but financial psychology shows that physical tracking builds trust with money habits. Suddenly money isn't the enemy anymore. It becomes something predictable. Over time, that weekly tracking creates a weird shift in mindset. The fear starts fading, and curiosity shows up instead. The same person who once feared checking their bank account now starts asking bigger questions about how to make money and grow wealth. And that's where something interesting happens next. Because sometimes the biggest financial mistake isn't spending too much, it's confusing caution with fear. A lot of people who grew up around financial stress learn a powerful habit: be careful with money. That part is actually smart. But financial psychology shows something subtle happens over time. Carefulness can slowly turn into fear, and fear starts controlling personal finance decisions. It's a bit like Peter Parker and Spider-Man learning responsibility, but if he let fear stop him from ever using his powers, nothing would change. Frugality is strategic. Fear is reactive. One builds wealth, the other freezes progress. A simple money habit can reveal the difference. Before any purchase, pause and ask one question. Is this moving future me forward, or is this just protecting me from an imagined disaster? That small moment of awareness turns random spending into intentional personal finance decisions. For example, imagine someone refusing to spend $200 on a professional certification that could increase their income by $5,000 a year. That's not frugality, that's fear dressed up as discipline. Financial education teaches that some expenses are actually investments. Books like The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel or I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi show how small strategic spending can massively improve how to make money long term. Over time, this shift creates a completely different money mindset. Instead of asking how do I avoid losing money, the question becomes what habits actually grow my financial life. And once that mental switch flips, something else becomes obvious. Many people were never rewarded for growth in the first place, they were only rewarded for surviving. Many people from Gen Y were praised for being responsible during tough financial times. Paying bills, avoiding debt, staying safe. Those habits helped families survive recessions, but financial psychology shows something important. Survival thinking focuses on not losing, while wealth thinking focuses on building. It's almost like the difference between the early seasons of Breaking Bad survival tension and the strategic growth mindset seen in Billions, where every move is about expansion. When someone operates in survival mode, personal finance decisions become defensive. Save what you can, avoid risk, stay small. But financial education teaches a different rhythm. Growth requires small expansions. One powerful habit is increasing income intentionally every month. That doesn't mean huge leaps. It can be one negotiation, one opportunity request, or one new income idea. For example, someone could renegotiate a $120 internet bill down to $80. That single conversation creates $480 a year instantly. Another person might pitch a freelance skill online and land one $300 side project. Over 12 months, those small actions can add thousands of dollars. These aren't just finance tips. They are real money habits that rewire how someone thinks about how to make money. The interesting part is what happens next. As income actions become normal, confidence grows. Fear slowly loses its grip, and people begin testing ideas they once avoided. But that brings up another challenge many people carry from recession childhoods. Because even when opportunities appear, the instinct is still to avoid risk completely. Growing up during financial chaos trains the brain to see risk everywhere. Markets crash, companies lay people off, families tighten every dollar. Over time, financial psychology wires a simple rule into the mind: risk equals danger. But in personal finance, avoiding all risk quietly becomes its own trap. It's similar to Tony Stark in Iron Man. Before he builds the suit, he realizes that hiding from the world doesn't create safety, learning to engage with risk does. Financial education teaches something powerful here. Controlled risk builds financial strength. Not reckless risk, not gambling, controlled risk. One simple habit is taking one calculated financial step every quarter. That might mean investing 5 to 10% of income into broad index funds like the S&P 500, or learning a side skill that can eventually bring in extra income. Small exposure slowly retrains the brain. For example, someone earning $4,000 a month could invest just $200 monthly into an index fund. Historically, long-term returns around 8 to 10% annually could turn that habit into over $150,000 in about 20 years. That's the power of consistent money habits. Another example is testing a micro offer online, maybe a $50 consulting call based on a skill someone already has. The first attempt may feel scary, but action weakens fear faster than thinking ever will. And here's the interesting twist financial psychology reveals. Once someone starts taking controlled risks, confidence begins separating from money itself. Because the real shift isn't just learning how to make money, it's realizing that personal identity was tied to financial stability all along. And that realization opens the door to the next breakthrough. A lot of people quietly measure their value by the number in their bank account. When money is good, confidence goes up. When money gets tight, self-doubt creeps in fast. Financial psychology explains why this happens, especially for people who grew up during recessions. They watched money determine stress levels at home, so personal finance started to feel like a scoreboard for personal worth. It's a bit like in The Social Network, where success becomes tangled with identity and validation. But strong financial education teaches a different truth. Net worth and self-worth are two completely different things. Someone can have $1,000 in the bank and still be building powerful money habits that will transform their future. What actually predicts long-term wealth isn't a single number. It's consistent behaviors like saving 15% of income, learning high-value skills, and improving financial decision-making every year. One practical shift is tracking behaviors instead of outcomes. Instead of obsessing over how much money sits in the account, start tracking actions. Did someone save something this month? Did they read one chapter of a personal finance book like The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins? Did they spend 30 minutes learning about index funds, entrepreneurship, or financial psychology? Those small habits compound far more than emotional reactions to income swings. Over time, something surprising happens. Confidence stops depending on external results and starts growing from consistent action. The person begins to see themselves as someone who is learning how to make money, not someone defined by current circumstances. And that shift changes the way the brain handles uncertainty. Because the next mental pattern many people carry from recession years is expecting the worst possible outcome every time. Growing up around financial instability teaches the brain to expect disaster first. Bills show up, the mind jumps straight to panic. Job market changes, the brain imagines the worst outcome instantly. Financial psychology calls this recession conditioning. It's a mental shortcut designed to protect, but in personal finance it often blocks smart decisions. Think about The Big Short, where everyone panics when the system collapses, yet the people who studied the probabilities saw the bigger picture. Financial education introduces a simple but powerful mental model. Before making a money decision, write down 3 outcomes: the worst case, the best case, and the most likely case. This exercise trains the brain to step out of emotional reactions and into rational thinking. Many finance tips focus only on budgeting, but this habit strengthens the actual decision-making system behind every financial move. For example, imagine someone thinking about starting a small side income online. Worst case, it earns nothing and costs $100 to test. Best case, it grows into an extra $1,000 a month. Most likely case, it slowly builds into $200 to $300 a month within a year. Suddenly the fear looks very different when the numbers are visible. That's how practical money habits reshape financial psychology over time. Once someone learns to think in probabilities instead of panic, a deeper shift starts forming. Money decisions stop feeling like emotional survival battles. They start looking more like stewardship and responsibility. And that idea, stewardship instead of scarcity, has been discussed for thousands of years in a place most people never expect when talking about personal finance. For centuries, long before modern financial education or personal finance books existed, one principle kept appearing in discussions about money habits: stewardship. In Proverbs 21 verse 5, it says that consistent planning leads to abundance, while haste leads to poverty. That idea fits perfectly with what financial psychology shows today. Fear hoards and hides money, but stewardship manages and multiplies it. It's similar to what you see in The Lord of the Rings, where responsibility over resources determines whether power destroys or builds. When someone shifts from scarcity thinking to stewardship thinking, everything about money changes. Instead of asking, how do I avoid losing what I have, the question becomes, how can I manage what I have wisely? That means budgeting intentionally, investing consistently, and growing income with purpose. These are not just finance tips. They are disciplined money habits that slowly transform how someone learns how to make money and manage it well. Take a practical example. If someone earns $4,500 per month, stewardship thinking might look like this: 15% invested for long-term growth, 10% saved for security, and the rest managed intentionally through expenses and learning. Over 25 years, investing just $675 per month with an average return around 8% could grow beyond $600,000. That's not luck. That's the long-term power of consistent financial education and intentional personal finance decisions. And here's the deeper realization most people never hear growing up. Wealth rarely appears from one big breakthrough. It grows from quiet, consistent actions repeated for years. The same habits that build financial stability also build confidence and clarity about life decisions. Which brings us to something important most people miss at the very beginning of this journey: why an entire generation was taught to fear money in the first place. Remember how overwhelming it once felt to think about money? That constant tension in the back of the mind, the quiet fear that one wrong move could send everything crashing down. For many people who grew up during recessions, money was never presented as a tool for opportunity. It was presented as something fragile. But now things are different. You've seen how financial psychology shaped those beliefs, and more importantly, you've seen the money habits that can slowly replace fear with clarity and control in your personal finance journey. Before going any further, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you're serious about financial education, about learning practical finance tips and understanding how to make money in ways most people never learn growing up, this channel is built for that exact purpose. New insights about money mindset, personal finance strategies, and real-world wealth building are coming, and you don't want to miss the ones that could shift the way you think about money forever. Now here's something to think about. If small shifts in money habits can rebuild confidence, imagine what happens when someone follows a complete roadmap designed to strengthen both financial clarity and mental resilience. That's exactly why the material holistic health, nourish your mind, balance your finances, transform your life exists. It walks through practical systems like how to build multiple income streams step by step, how to eliminate debt without feeling financially suffocated, and how to stay mentally focused when financial pressure hits. These are the same principles behind long-term wealth builders, but broken down in a way that's clear, structured, and actually doable. So if you're ready to move beyond survival thinking and start building real financial momentum, click the link in the pinned comment now and explore the material. The sooner you start applying these strategies, the sooner your relationship with money begins to shift. Check out the material in the pinned comment and start transforming the way you approach money, habits, and financial growth today.